I want to switch and follow on the question that Senator King had talked about in terms of the Arctic, and I'll be a little more blunt. We have a DoD 13-page Arctic strategy, and yet when you look at what the Russians are doing in the Arctic, it's actually quite impressive. Impressive, but disturbing. So I'm sure you gentlemen are somewhat familiar, but General Dempsey mentioned in testimony with the Secretary of Defense last week, the Russians are looking at 4 new Arctic combat brigades as our U.S. Army is thinking about pulling them out of the Arctic. I think that would give Vladimir Putin a lot of joy. They are building new airfields, 13 new airfields. They're conducting long-range air patrols with their Bear bombers off the coast of Alaska again. They have incredibly 6 new icebreakers coming, 5 more planned to add to their fleet of 40. Meanwhile, the United States is thinking about an additional one to our fleet of 5. Does it concern you, particularly when we talk about keeping sea lanes open? There's going to be a very, very important sea lane that's developing, the Northwest Arctic Passage there. And has the Navy given any thought to this in terms of particularly adding icebreakers to the Navy's shipping fleet if we're going to be remotely competitive with the Russians in the Arctic, that they have stood up a new Arctic command? I mean, they are all in the Arctic, and it's not 13 pages of paper. It's concrete, it's ships, it's airfields, and we're thinking about removing forces from Alaska. And we don't even have, I think we're number 5 or 6 in the world in terms of icebreakers. It seems to me a ludicrous situation that the Navy should be concerned about.
Well, the purview of the icebreakers is the Department of Homeland Security, the Coast Guard. So if we split that, then we'll be clobbering our strategy. And although it sounds like a petty answer, somebody has to be in charge here. And right now it resides with the Department of Homeland Security. Am I concerned? Yes, Senator, I am concerned, because for us to take our combat ships up there, we have to work in conjunction with that and make sure that we can get up there as well. So we have to look at hardening of our hulls, and we look toward that. And also, it's not just surface ships, which we tend to focus on. It's the aircraft and the undersea domain. So as I mentioned earlier, we've increased, I've directed the increase in our exercise capacity up there and our activity up there. And we are spending a little bit more. It's modest right now, exercising with the Norwegians, with the Scandinavian countries, and with Canada in that arena to get used to operating up there.
Mr. Secretary, any thoughts?
We, as the ice melts in the Arctic, our responsibilities clearly are going up. We just, CNO and I just issued the new Navy roadmap for the Arctic. We updated it. I stopped through the university, at Fairbanks, the University of Alaska at Fairbanks, in terms of, it's not just platforms and it's not just capability, it's what we're facing up there. We not only have less ice, but it's freezing in different ways. And so as we send our submarines up there, they don't have a whole lot of clearance, both above or below, and the ice is forming in different ways that are beginning to be a hazard to navigation. But as CNO said, we're upping our exercises, we're upping our research into the area. We're moving in terms of hardening hulls, in terms of warfighting capabilities. As you know, we have a SEAL training unit on Kodiak, specifically focused on cold weather combat. In fact, every SEAL goes through it right after they come out of BUDS. So we are concerned about it. We're trying to move on it. But it, again, is one of these things that in this budget situation, you have to make some very, very hard choices. And we don't have the capability that we would like to have in the Arctic.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.